What's up, guys? Shuckle King here for my Week 4 Team Builder and game against Jamesanity, coast of the Columbus Chew. So we are both the only 3-0 teams in the league right now. And we're both in the same division. So obviously the last person, or the person that wins this game is going to be the last undefeated person this season, which is very cool. And he's a very good player from what I've seen in his replays. This team, as you can see in the corner there, he also has a similar top-heavy team like I do. Most threatening, the least threatening are Blaze Phalon, I don't know if you say it like that, Cincino, Megaladios, Registeel, Weavile, Lando T, Decidueye, Vaporeon, and Hitmontop. Now, Blaze Phalon, I have no switch-ins on this team. Like if he's scarfed with a fire move, it would give Naganadel a free switch in, and if he's scarfed Shadow Ball, then it gives a free switch in to Lanoon potentially. So I don't think he's going to be scarfed, which would be very nice because I have a lot of things that could or would outspeed Blaze Phalon normally. So that's very nice, but he basically gets a kill every time he brings this in. Cincino can be pretty annoying. Again, I do have a Skarmory to take it on very well. And Naganadel outspeeds it, but otherwise it can be a threat if I'm not a physically defensive Mew. Megaladios is also annoying just because it's so good physical and special. If it's physical, then Skarmory handles it no problem. And if it's special, it's going to be a little bit tougher, but a Alolan Ninetales handles it alright if it's special, and can do a lot of damage back. Otherwise, Mega Galley can do live a hit and do a lot of damage in return with knockoff, and Naganadel can outspeed as well, as long as he's not like a Dragon Dance special set. Other than that, I feel like I have a pretty good matchup in this game. Weavile and Lando T are not as big threats as I feel like they usually are, just because Skarm is on my team. And the three biggest threats to my team, I would say first is Naganadel, just because it has a very good chance to sweep with a standard Dragon plus Poison plus Fire to hit Registeel. I feel like I have a decent chance of sweeping this matchup, more so than most weeks, because the only thing to outspeed me is Weavile, which is a very good revenge killer to Naganadel. So if I find out a way to kill Weavile, then I should be able to sweep. Next is Skarmory. Skarmory is such a good defensive answer to stuff like Megaladios if it's physical, Lando T, Weavile, Hitmontop. It handles all those physical threats with really no problem. And the last is Alolan Ninetales. Offensively, has pretty good coverage against his team, especially because it can run Dark Pulse to hit the Blaze Phalon. Ice and Fairy are very problematic to Megaladios. Cincino outspeeds, Registeel can take a hit. If I run Freeze Dry, or even Moonblast does decent damage to Vaporeon if it's physically defensive, though he probably would be special defensive if he brought Vaporeon. But I can also set up Aurora Veil pretty easily on this team because Megaladios is the only thing that can defog. I guess the Decidueye too, and both of them are very pressured to defog when Alolan Ninetales is on the field. So this is the team I brought. First is Naganadel. Look at that, no Z moves there. I have Yachi Berry actually. Nasty Plot, Fire Blast, Sludge Wave, Draco Meteor. Yachi Berry is to take a hit from a Choice Scarfed Weavile and Ice Skull Crash, or to live a Ice Shard from like a Life Orb Weavile. I can even take most ice hits. I think if it's banded, I might not be able to take it, but otherwise I can take any ice hit from Weavile and kill it in return and get a speed boost there. Otherwise, pretty standard. Nasty Plot and Fire Blast to take on the Registeel. Other than that, and I guess Nasty Plot's also good for Vaporeon. Otherwise, I really don't need to use that move even. I just get a bunch of kills with this mon even without Nasty Plot. Next, Skarmory, very defensive, very straightforward here, leftovers, because Rocky Helmet's not as useful in this matchup. Toxic to wear down his walls, except for Registeel, which I can't do anything to, but I have ways around that, that's fine. Pretty standard set there. Next is Alolan Ninetales with 3 attack moves plus a Roarville. Moonblast is nice to hit like the Hitmontop and the Vaporeon and the Weavile. Dark Pulse to hit the Blaze Phalon, and a Blizzard to hit like the Megaladio is very hard, and Decidueye, just in general, anything that can try to switch in, Blizzard's going to do decent damage with max special attack. The speed is there to outspeed Blacephalon. Next I have Mega Gallade, also max speed, a speed tie with Megaladios, and I can do a lot of damage. I believe I Twig KO with a knockoff. And then I have Swords Dance, Close Combat. Substitute's really only there in case a Registeel comes in. I want to click T-Wave, assuming it has a Fighting Resist Choppleberry. I can take a Close Combat and T-Wave me. I want to substitute on that to prevent that from happening. He can break my sub normally, otherwise. The next one I have is Thunderous with the Z move. Look at that, I have Z moves not on Naganadel this week. I feel like Agility with these 3 coverage moves does a lot of damage to his team. Focus Blast hits the Registeel very hard, as well as Electrium Z Thunderbolt. And Hidden Power Ice is there to hit the Landorus T, and I also outspeed it with my speed investment. And last I have Choice Scarf Bulky Mew with enough speed to outspeed a max speed Weavile. Then Headbutt for general stab, knock off the hit, stuff like the Blacephalon. U-turn to get a momentum throughout the match, and Trick to get his wall stuck on say like a Seismic Toss or Iron Head or Stealth Rocks or Registeel or Decidueye or Vaporeon. That way Naganadel can easily set up a nasty plot. So that's my team this week. Let's see how well it does in the match. Alright, here we are for the team. As we can see, he pretty much brings everything I expect except for Cincino, which is nice. Against Garmy's a pretty good counter to it, but otherwise Cincino would have been a little bit of an issue just because of its speed. So glad I don't have to worry about that. But Blacephalon is a huge issue for this team, and I recognize that, and I can't do much about it, but I just gotta pressure it offensively, so that's why I lead with Mega Gallade. He's not gonna stay in, I'm sure, and I'm getting pretty confident he's not gonna be Scarfed, so I'm gonna go right for the knockoff, try to kill this threat right away. Goes in the Lando T, which is a good play. Get my Mega off and knock off. Based on that damage, he is offensive, no bulk. Goes for the Rock Polish here. Kind of surprised. I was expecting Swords Dance just because Swords Dance plus like Z Stone Edge plus a regular Stone Edge would kill my Skarmory. Surprised he's Rock Polish. But he goes for the Z move here and it's Z Fly. Again, something that Skarmory could have handled pretty easily. Regardless, Mew takes the hit even though it's Scarfed. I do have a lot of bulk in it, so I am able to live it, go for the U-turn and go into Skarmory. I guess I should have gone into Skarmory on that Mew. That was probably a bad play on my part. But I also need the Skarmory to handle the Weavile, which is also a pretty big threat to the team. So he switches out here, and I get my Rocks up, which is very nice. That's also another issue why I left in the Mew, because I wanted to make sure I got Rocks up later in the match with Skarmory. So I guess the trade-off there, I lose my Mew to the 3rd week in a row to Z moves, but is what it is here when I don't really have any answers to this mod. I can go right into Mega Gallade. Again, he can go into Landorus T pretty easily, but I'm okay with this. I'm going to predict him to go for the Earthquake and go into Skarmory. Can't do much there. I predict him to go back into Blacephalon just because I can't do much to land a T with Skarmory at this point. Besides like a Toxic or something, and he would basically get a free kill again if he brought that in. So that's why I make the double, but he goes for the Stone Edge, doesn't do a whole lot to me, and I can kill with a knockoff. So that's fine. I do take enough damage though to where Weavile can kill me with a Icicle Cratch or a knockoff, which is unfortunate, but Skarmory can live those hits pretty easily. And as you can see, his Choice Banded damage. I predict him to go into Blacephalon again, predicting me to go for Roost because I need the Skarmory to stay healthy to take on his Weavile and maybe like the Decidueye or the Latios. So I'm going to go into my Alolan Ninetales and go for the Dark Pulse on it. He goes for the Icicle Crash and crits, which did make a difference. I could live 2. Let's see, he got a flinch on the second one, so I do not get Aurora Veils up, so that really blows. I had to go into Skarmory. And now he predicts the Iron Head and goes into Blacephalon. Good play. I don't have my Sturdy anymore. So that's a little bit problematic, and again he gets a free kill here. He gets a crit, which confirms that he specs basically to me, because he needed a crit with specs in order to knock me out based on a little bit of bulk I had. But again, if he's like max speed, then he was going to outspeed me anyway, so the crit didn't matter a whole lot besides confirming that he was specs, but I kind of figured that, or like an expert belt set. No, actually I'm pretty sure he had to be specs to knock me out. So I go into Naganadel. He's not going to go into Registeel because I could have easily Fire Blast there, because that probably would have killed. Actually, no, it wouldn't have killed Blaze Fallon there. He could have gone into Registeel to take that hit, but decides not to, which is very, very nice for me. So predicting the Thunder Wave, because Registeel can take any hit pretty easily, unless I was like Z Fire Blast, but even then it could live a hit, be especially defensive. I go into Skarmory because I don't care if that's paralyzed, and then make the double in the Gallade, predicting that he was gonna go for like a Seismic Toss or something, so I could bring Gallade in and pressure that and kill the Registeel, so that way Naganadel can sweep in the end, because I do have Yachi Berry and I'm still pretty healthy. But I don't want to let this Gallade take any damage, and he could be Colbur Berry Decidueye there, which would be the only way it lives, or if it's like physically defensive. So I go into Skarmory to be safe, and I go for the Toxic there, but I get paralyzed. I went for the Toxic just because that'd be fine if I got a Toxic on the Decidueye or the Megalodi. If he goes into Registeel, I can get a Roost Up later on that, no problem. And if he goes into Weavile, Toxic's okay. It's like a middle ground play there. But he goes into Megalodios and gets a Dragon Dance up. I'm not too threatened by it, just because I can handle pretty much anything this Mon wants to do on the physical side. So I'm going to just Roost Up and just continuously spam Roost until this kills itself with toxic damage. I get paralyzed there, which is unfortunate. And then he goes for Ice Beam and gets a second para, which it really, really sucks. Now I don't have a great answer to a Weavile, I guess, besides Naganadel. Now at this point, he probably assumes that he has this in the bag just because I don't have my Skarmory anymore. And I didn't want my Gallade to take damage because I need a way to hit that Registeel. And at that low of HP, Skarmory would have been doing not much at all to that Weavile. I would have died to even a knockoff at that point. So at this point, I do have Yachi Berry, and he's Choice Banded. So Weavile does 87 to 102%. Plus he has a chance to flinch with Ice Skull Crash. So I have better than a 50% odds of living this hit and killing it. I'd be very low, and then I would be revenged by Registeel after I hit a Fire Blast. So it all come down to Mega Gallade going for close combat plus knockoff, assuming it's not a Colbur Decidueye at the end. Another play he could do is go for knockoff here, which would kill me. But if I'm Z-move, then it would not kill me. Now, because Thunderous T didn't do anything in this match, he's probably assuming I do have a Z-move, whether it's Z Fire Blast or Z Draco, I guess, so I don't get the special attack drop there. So he goes for the Ice Skull Crash, and he misses, which is great for me because I win and sweep a Naganadel here. Registeel can't do much to me. The only way he wins if he gets a bunch of paras, which he does not. As you can see here, he goes to the Thunder Wave, which is a fine play. Go for that Fire Blast and kill with a crit. The crit does matter because I wouldn't have knocked it out, but if you got a bunch of Seismic Tosses and paras at the end there, then it could have made a difference. But I do win this game here with on the Decidueye, who still cannot outspeed me even after the para because I have the +2 speed. So good game. Jamesanity is a very good team, and I expect him to do well when he makes the playoffs this year. But that's a good win and a divisional win for me, so I gotta make sure I'm still on top of this league here. So until next time, later guys.